How you guys doing today? This is Darius from Down on the TV. Welcome to the channel. So I wanted to talk about why listening to most red pill content creators, dating coaches is a waste of time. You're going to end up broke, divorced, and disappointed. It's a waste of time to listen to any red pill modern dating quote unquote content creator who gives advice because you're better off making money online and going to a country where men are still respected, where natural gender roles are respected. Listening to John Zerka's dating advice, where you have to manipulate your woman, is unsustainable. That's the truth, as quiet as it's kept. Look at John Zerka, Myron, all these red pill content creators. All of them are childless, not married, and single. You guys want to find a wife. You're not trying to perpetually date women for eternity. That's not sustainable on a societal level, and that's not what you want. You want to be married to a loving woman that respects you and loves you, and you want to have children. They're not teaching you that. They're teaching you how to manipulate her corrupted nature and to perpetually date her for eternity. You're Meaning you're not being natural. You're not being your natural self. Where you have to always overthink things, that's not natural. You're not going to be able to keep that up. You may be able to get her initially, but eventually down the road, you're going to get tired of having to be like, oh, I got to move this way. I can't say this. I can't say that. Oh, I have to pay attention to her eye movement. I can't move too quick because then it'll raise up her anxiety. You're wasting your time. Don't do that. That's not natural. When I lived in Mexico, I saw couples, when I was at the park, I saw couples holding hands, being loving and affectionate. And my time living with locals, I saw how they interacted. You don't need game in Mexico. You don't need game in Dominican Republic. You don't need game in Thailand. You don't need game in the Philippines or in Ethiopia or anywhere in Africa, because the women there are not spoiled brats. They're not solipsistic. They're humbled by their environment. What's caused most of the issues in our Western society is that we have empowered women to where they can ruin your life. They can do whatever they want without being disciplined or corrected in their bad behavior. And a lot of red pill content creators, dating coaches, or whatever, they teach you how to get the woman initially by being a fraud. You're really a loving kind of guy. You're not this stoic, quiet guy who doesn't show any emotions because you don't want to raise her anxiety. That's not sustainable and that's not realistic to human male and female interactions. The reason why you have to be this way here in the West is due to women having too many options, because men are not masculine anymore due to them being raised by single mothers and their fathers being emasculated through the legal system by women being empowered due to them being able to vote. When women vote, because they're solipsistic and all they care about is themselves, they're going to vote in politicians that give them authority over the household, where they can put you on alimony, child support, even though she can work. It's supposed to be equal, but it's not. So, red pill content creators are frauds. I wouldn't say they're frauds. I would say that they are being disingenuous. They're setting you up for disaster. You're going to end up quote unquote manipulating this girl's nature, but eventually that's very tiresome and taxing. It would be better if you made your money online and go live in a country where women still respect the men, because the government is not involved in most family issues between men and women. That is probably the best advice, because the system is not going to be corrected in the West, because in order for the system to be corrected, the current system has to be destroyed and replaced. And we need a massive reset, which will cause a lot of suffering in most people's lives because the collapse will happen. So most people don't want that to happen. They rather suffer and get divorced and deal with all the craziness with tranny stuff, family dysfunction, single motherhoods, which is fine. But as a single man, you're wasting your time. Don't waste your time trying to marry a woman who's not even a virgin. Now, a lot of people will find that controversial, but 50 years ago or 80 years ago, most of our forefathers had wives that were virgins or had an extremely low body count. Now you'll be lucky if you got a chick that hasn't fucked 5 dudes or 10 dudes in her lifetime before you married her. That's kind of weird that even billionaire and millionaire men, they're all marrying either prostitutes, women who were escorts or OnlyFans models, or women who slept with a ton of men. It's weird that the richest men in the West, they can't even get virgin wives. And that's kind of funny. So it's like, man, if the top Jeff Bezos and all these people, they can't get feminine virgin wives, then what about for us? But like I said, there's a loophole in the system where there are alternatives where you don't have to settle for women who's going to end up divorcing you, emasculating you in the first place. And listening to all these dating coaches who basically they accept the way things are, they know things aren't going to change. So they live in the perpetual system, live in the corruption, which is fine. But most men do not want to date forever because all these red pill dating coaches, they're unmarried and childless. You can't run a society on just perpetually dating and no one having children. The only people having children are the Pookies and Ray Rays and the illegal immigrants. They're the only people who have kids, which is not a sustainable form of system. But anyways, like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. Like I said, the dating coaches, you're wasting your time paying money to how to quote unquote manipulate a woman because in the end, you're going to be tired. You're not going to want to do that. And eventually, you're going to just be yourself. And when she finds out you're a loving, good guy, she's going to lose respect for you because she is a spoiled child who didn't have a father figure, a strong masculine father figure to teach her how to be submissive, how to be loving, how to respect herself as a woman and not be with all these rappers, all these celebrity stars who just use her body and throw her away. Anyways, this is Darius from Down on the TV. I'm out.